Our first session for today will be the keynote address by the President of NASSCOM, Ms. Debjani Ghosh. I feel privileged to introduce Ms. Debjani Ghosh, the President of NASSCOM since April 2018. A veteran of the technology industry, Debjani is the fifth President of NASSCOM and the first woman at the helm in the 3-decade history. Ms. Debjani was instrumental in developing Think Digital, Think India strategy, aimed at establishing India as a hub for digital talent and innovation. She has several awards and firsts to her credit. In January 2018, she was felicitated by the President of India under the aegis of the First Ladies Program, which honors exceptional women pioneers in their respective fields. And the list continues. Before NASSCOM, Debjani was the first woman to lead Intel India and the Manufacturers Association for Information Technology. She firmly believes that learning never stops and a trainable mindset is the biggest strength one can have. With that introduction, we now present to you the keynote address by Ms. Debjani. Can we have the presentation, please?
Thank you very much, Professor Sadgopan and the entire team at ISPMA for giving me this opportunity to speak. Always wonderful to be here. You know, when I think about the tech industry, the only silver lining of the pandemic that I can see is that it did give us an opportunity to pause, reset, and rebuild the future. And I do believe that this is one opportunity we absolutely cannot afford to lose out on. The future, at least in my opinion, cannot be a repeat of the past. We have to use every inch of our creativity, our imagination to build something better. How often do we get an opportunity to create something new, to create a future that will impact not just us, but the future generations? We have to ensure that when we create the future has to be much more sustainable. It has to be safer. It has to be healthier, and of course, much more inclusive. In short, we need to flip the innovation lens to focus on something that is fundamentally important for all of us, but often forgotten when we start talking technology and we start talking innovation. And that's bringing back the focus on humans, bringing back the focus on improving human lives. We have to ensure that as technology pretty much weaves into the basic fabric of our lives, it's not just invisible and intuitive, which it should be, but it has to be safe. It has to be responsible. And most of all, it has to be truly inclusive. In the future, the role of technology has to be one, and that's of the greatest equalizer that humans ever created. I hope that this decade is not just known as India's decade because of the increasing role of technology in our lives, but because of the impact that we are able to create, the impact that we as the tech industry are able to create on the planet, on human lives, on building just a sustainable world for everyone. The opportunity ahead of the tech industry is absolutely unprecedented. As I look back at 2021, almost every single sector of India's digital economy witnessed a multifold growth during the year. As we watched every organization sort of relook, reimagine its business processes and systems as digital transformation became an absolute strategic priority for every single CEO, the opportunities are seriously unprecedented. In fact, Gartner finds that ICT spending in India is forecasted to total around 101 billion plus in 2022, which is roughly an increase of around 7% over 2021. And every sector is benefiting from this tremendously urgent and strategic focus on digital transformation. The startup and product sector in 2021 attracted a record-breaking 36 billion in funding, with almost 40 plus unicorns added. In fact, we have not even completed the first month of 2022, and the unicorns have already started coming in. The tech services industry which is known as the legacy industry of India, is expected to clock double-digit growth, uh, fueled by the rapid transformation that this industry is going through, especially the pivot on customer centricity, domain, innovation. It- Today, when you look at the services industry, it is completely different from the industry that we used to see in the past. And we are seeing similar stories of transformation and accelerated growth across ER&D, across the tech SME sector. And not to be left behind, the government has also significantly upped its game when you talk about transformation, when you talk about innovation for impact. I mean, look at the work India is doing to build out the digital highways or the foundation for the digital economy. This is an area I feel tremendously passionately, I really am very passionate about, because if you look at what India has been able to do to build out the digital public goods platforms that pretty much ensures that technology innovations and solutions can reach the last mile, can reach the grassroots levels. I mean, look at UPI, look at what COVID has done. The largest vaccine has enabled the largest vaccination drive ever. But if you think about the digital economy, every country will need to ensure that they have a foundation, or what we call the digital highway for the digital economy, that is truly scalable, truly robust, and truly inclusive. And I do believe that India has figured the maths out for doing exactly that. And this gives us a tremendous advantage in the digital era, where every country will be competing to ensure that they have a very robust and scalable digital economy. The shift towards digital transformation for enterprises, government, it's only going to accelerate. Our research, NASSCOM's research with McKinsey, estimates that enterprise tech spending will be over 5% of revenue by 2025, which is roughly around a 2% growth over 2020. And this is why, given the momentum, given the way the opportunities are shaping, given the way the industry is transforming, it's like the planets are aligning for that perfect strategic inflection moment for India. And this is why we feel tremendously strongly that it is not a stretch to say that India's tech and digital sector can reach the goal of $1 trillion digital economy in the next 5 years. How the sector moves towards this goal in 2022, the roadmap is still being developed. I do believe that there are a few trends that we have to keep our eyes on, and that we have to significantly sharpen or strengthen in 2022. A few areas that must be prioritized and need to evolve much faster. These include a single-minded focus on talent, perfecting the hybrid model, the hybrid work model, investments in deep tech products and solutions, and more than anything else, I think we have to ensure that we get the design principles right in terms of how we build and use technology. Building human centricity with tech is going to be absolutely critical. I mean, building human centricity into the mindset of innovation, into the mindset of the industry, I think is going to be absolutely critical for future success. We also have to revisit security with the zero trust lens. I think it's crucial, especially for the companies that are beginning their digital transformation journey. And last but not the least, companies have to realize that sustainability and profitability will go hand in hand. There is no either or option. This is an and story. And you have to ensure that you figure out the right balance and figure out how to enable both. talk a little bit on talent, because I do believe that this is the most important piece of the puzzle. It will remain the most essential resource for every organization, because technology is getting democratized very fast. And as technology gets democratized, the differentiation will come from your digital mastery. The differentiation will depend on your ability to use technology better than your competition. And this is where talent becomes absolutely critical. Currently, the demand for digital skills is in India is 8x more than what is available, than the supply pool that is available. And we estimate it will rise 20 times by 2024. So upskilling has to be job one for the nation. Upskilling has to be job one for each and every one of us, and of course, the government. Not just focusing on technology skills, but building the mindset that is required for our industry, the problem solving mindset, the passion for learning, becoming a continuous learner and enjoying your learning journey as new opportunities and new challenges come up. Being able to collaborate in teams, with global teams, remote teams, is going to be absolutely critical. And I think, for the product sector, just developing the core product management skills, a foundation, a strong foundation, is going to be so important. However, this talent augmentation requires a combined effort from businesses, technology enablers, solution providers, and of course the government. To We have to bring about fundamental shifts in our talent strategy, in how we teach right from kindergarten up to university. If 2021 was the year of so-called great resignations, I do believe that 2022 will be the year for massive upskilling. The opportunities for every sector is pretty much limited by um, our own imagination and our own abilities. I mean, you just look at what's happening in the SaaS space. I mean, it's just fascinating to see how the sectors are growing, how world class from India is not just a service story anymore. World class from India today is becoming a product story. And I think with the Freshworks IPO, um, we sent out a very strong signal to the world. Um, 2022, I also believe, is going to be a tremendous year for India's deep tech startups as more startups mature with advanced tech solutions and move towards focusing much more on solving some of those big problems for the country and global enterprises. With the kind of projects that's coming up, National Digital Health Mission, National Language Mission that MIT is developing, our deep tech startups can build solutions that will solve some really big problems for India and the world. We have opportunities like never before. For example, in order to make healthcare a reality in India, how do we come up with solutions that will enable delivery of, or technologies that will enable delivery of healthcare solutions in low resource settings, to ensure that we bridge the gap between haves and have-nots today with respect to healthcare, and so it's same for education, etc., etc. These are exciting times. There is just so much to look forward to. There is so much for all of us to do. I mean, the pie keeps getting bigger and bigger by the day. But I think there's two things that I would like you to keep in mind. One, as we look at the opportunities, status quo is absolutely not going to cut it. That's the one thing we are very, very sure of, that transformation is the only way we can stay relevant in this new ecosystem. So how quickly you're able to learn, how quickly you're able to adapt, will define your ability to play the infinite game better than your competition. Today's era is marked by the rise of tech giants, tech startups, enterprises that are becoming digital and innovative disruptors that are pretty much reimagining every aspect of collaboration, be it business, wellness, interactions, consumption, etc., etc. While innovative applications of technology is driving all these shifts, what I hope 2022 will bring is the importance of human centricity into each of these transformations. Technology, innovation, and inclusion has to go hand in hand, period. There are no two ways about it. And we have to ensure that it gets built into the core design principles of the digital economy roadmap, of India's digital economy roadmap. As the new year dawns in the shadows of another COVID wave, I remain hopeful that while the new normal will contribute to change and evolve, the importance of technology for sustainable impact is becoming more real and will continue to drive us forward. The human centricity will guide this industry in how we build and how technology gets used, will be guided by the lens of human centricity above all, because I truly believe that is what will enable us to not just build sustainable growth, but to build an industry that not just India, but the world will be tremendously proud of. Thank you once again for having me here. Wish you a very successful conference and look forward to talking soon. Thank you.
That's a great message from Ms. Debjani to start our sessions today.